Alrighty, welcome one and all. We're here on, I want to say it's the third round now of the ESR Academy Series featuring the ACC SuperTrofeo Lamborghini. Ayrton Tobin alongside here with Matt Higgs, Cole McRae.
Cole McRae. I'm damn it. You can't take that away from me.
Well, because Matt is here watching
Swan.
his first race of the ACC Academy. Let's tell you a little bit about it as well.
Stream has ended.
Stream has ended.
Did you close your Twitch? Here, I'll stream my screen.
Unfortunate. Well, we may have lost
Matt. So he got his mixed up. His stream went wrong somehow. So I was showing him my screen to allow him to align it, but I guess he just wanted to watch it. So
I see.
While we're doing this.
Well, anyways, to answer your previous question, Matt, about the series, yeah, this is the SuperTrofeo, and basically it's the Huracan, but no ABS or traction. Wait, traction?
No, I don't think it has traction.
To remember, if they do, it doesn't really do anything. But
Oh no, it does. It does.
yeah, that's right. It has traction. It just does really nothing, and yeah, the ABS is sorely missed because these are a beast to handle, especially under braking. I imagine it's gonna be tricky around a track like this.
Wait, are these all? These aren't all official liveries, are they?
No, everyone had to make their own going in because there's only one livery.
I like that. I like that NVIDIA livery by David Palmer.
I know.
There's not very many logos, but
I feel like that's a
some logos
new
on that.
livery for him.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that 2 rounds ago, so.
Anyways,
nice.
wrapping up qualifying here, it looks like Rachel Guerin is on pole. That has been a common theme throughout the season. She's still looking for her first win, though, despite thoroughly dominating the first halves of the first 2 races. Larry Foster, second, again, super fast, still searching for his first win. Shangfeng Fei has been pretty fast as well, still searching. David Palmer still searching, and David Nelson comes in 5th. He has taken both the 2 wins so far, so let's see if he can go 3 in a row. What's your question?
Can I pause you for a second? Is that Thomas Bellino in 10th place I see there?
Thomas Bellino, yes!
Wow.
Wait, do you guys know each other or something?
Yeah, we were last acquainted with him during the ACC Sunday series.
In the McLaren.
Yeah.
In the McLaren. There he is right there.
I have bad memories about Zandvoort.
Haha, so do I. The last 2 times I've seen it, it's been as a commentator, and it's been so much more relaxing. Looks like we've also got Hemian here, who is starting 6th. He's currently 2nd in the standings behind Nelson, because a lot like Nelson, he's been very consistent. Bennett Lykoudis, who started on pole last week and has had some very fast laps. We'll see if he can work his way forward. McIntyre, Bellino, Quackenberg, Gallo, and Ramos are here, so...
Wait, is his name actually Quackenberg?
Yes, indeed. Well, that's what I'm seeing anyways.
It could be Quakenberg.
Let us know,
Yeah.
we don't want to say it wrong.
No, we do.
We are missing,
It's way funnier if we say it wrong.
why am I dropping the name here? This is why you shouldn't do this stuff late at night. We're missing McLaughlin this week, as well as the second week. He really stole the show that first week at Monza, but has been missing.
Yeah, he had an incredible
school.
run. Because of school, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh, imagine going to school.
But I'll
Frickin'
tell
what a
you,
hoser.
I've been watching, just sitting here, spending my entire day just looking at the voice channels with nothing to do, and these people have been in there practicing and in voice just all day, every day. I don't know how they do it, and it's been pretty amazing to watch, so they've been getting better and better every week. Putting on a show.
More. Oh, drift.
And I'll tell you, Matt, I think you're going to like this. The last 2 races, especially last week's, have just been barn burners. Phenomenal races. A lot of lead changes.
A quick rundown of our qualifying order. We have Rachel Guerin in first place, Larry Foster bringing up 2nd. So pretty close race, still almost a half second between them. Shenzhen Fei, I believe is his name, in 3rd. David Palmer and David Nelson in 4th and 5th respectively. Cliff Hemian in 6th. Bennett, I forget what Bennett's first name is, in 7th. Andres Lasudis, Zachary, that makes sense.
I'm just guessing.
Lasudis in 8th. We saw him also in the ACC Sunday Series, I believe.
Yes, sir. He was driving the 54 Porsche.
Samuel McIntyre in 9th. Tommaso Bellino in 10th. We also have Von Quackenberg in 11th, Gallo in 12th, and Juan
Is it
Ramos in
Gallo
13th.
12 or Gallo 24?
I'm not getting.
That's a Fast and the Furious reference.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't watch Fast and the Furious.
that's from Too Fast and Furious. Like the second
Oh,
one.
I've only seen the first one, my dude. That's
Good
that's the only
God.
real one in my opinion.
Oh my God, what's wrong with you?
I only like the good movies. What can I say? Anyhow,
Ayrton, I think you need to smack him for me.
Cole, how have you seen one Fast and the Furious? You're supposed to have seen none like me.
What?
But the Fast and the Furious is an actually good movie with a ton of '90s charm, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's very well made and it's ridiculous, but it recognizes how ridiculous it is and doesn't try to pretend to be like super like. It doesn't try to be like a super action movie like the current one is.
I don't know whether to be
tongue-in-cheek.
appalled or amazed.
You should be amazed because that is the superior. It's better to have seen none than to have seen more than
Come there and
one.
smack both of y'all.
And
There's like
for our
37
viewers,
now.
as well as the uninformed Matt, there is no there's no mandatory pit stop. That said, with the attrition rate we have seen, almost everyone has pitted at least once in every race. So you could ram into the wall on the first turn. It's not game over. Truly, it's been a story so far of speed, inconsistency, and just trying to find who can
I am
have the best race to the end. So far, that's been
Lightning
David
McQueen.
Nelson. Despite not starting up front or running the fastest laps in either race, he has worked his way forward in both, and yeah, hung on to the win. That first position
Well,
has
not only
been
that-
fairly cursed.
Well, not only that, but didn't David start near the middle back of the pack in at least
Mhm.
Monza?
Monza, he
So-
started at the back. He took over the lead right at the end and hung on to it. Next race at Brands Hatch, he started, I want to say, in third or fourth, worked his way up to second, then sat in third, took over the lead about midway through, hung on through a really terrific fight at the end, and did take that win. He definitely earned it at Brands Hatch.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So
Fortunately, his challenger is, who was Sith last week, is not here this week.
who is it?
Chemo Smith, I want to say, a Sith.
Didn't Chemo Sith he wasn't in the first race though?
Nope. Showed up for the second race and is unfortunately not here today, but he had a pretty exciting race fighting for the win last time as well. But the main two we've definitely seen so far. Oh no, Faye is suddenly back in the pits.
Wouldn't Hemian to be the main challenger to David Nelson?
I last week he was. I'm saying. Chemo Smith was in second, fighting for the win.
Oh, okay. I thought I meant through the championship.
Yes, Hemian is indeed second in the standings. He's also been very consistent.
And what we're kind of seeing is that, you know, it's a battle of the consistency. It certainly helps to be you know, as fast as possible. You know, no one's ever going to tell you not that. But, you know,
if you stay out of trouble, you're gonna come out on top.
exactly. And looks like Faye's race begins with a stumble right out of the gate as he has to start from the pits for some reason that we're not sure of.
Oh, he
And
must
how he
not
rounded
press
the last corner.
drive.
Guess
Well,
not.
We're rounding the
But last
corner,
week,
and we're waiting
Garen
for the
jumped
flag.
out to an early race
And-
lead. Let's see if we
Green
can do it
flags are
again.
waving. The race is on.
We were watching
Welcome to
Lykutis
round
here.
3.
That's a good move because he was very fast last week. Made some extremely aggressive moves at Brands Hatch, and they were all pretty clean and paid off well.
Whose livery is that? And the dark green with a white stripe. I like that. The McIntyre.
I believe that's McIntyre.
No.
This, I'm not sure if this time is quite keeping up live.
It usually doesn't. It's all, Ryan has a
Getting
minor
some weird,
explosion in his room.
weird camera work here. This.
Hey, Ayrton, we paid for this freaking helicopter, and god damn it, we're gonna use it.
Yeah, I think our guy could use a little bit more training in stabilizing the camera. Anyways,
Hey,
it
man,
looks like
you know,
Foster
we're-
jumped Garen for the lead.
Never let it be said that ESR doesn't invest in new talent. This is the Academy race, and the helicopter is also an Academy pilot.
Alright, let's see. So last week at Brands Hatch, Foster actually got caught up in some traffic at the start of the race. Once he got clear, stormed his way up to the lead. So let's see if he can just run a full, smooth race this time.
Wait, did he? I thought Foster was in like 10th and 11th.
Yes, after crashing out.
No. Well, here we go again with the classic adage, you know, slow and steady wins the race. If you crash out, you're not going to be able to pick up those points.
And you know, last week at Brands Hatch, Garen, we felt she kind of overdrove the car at the start, putting down unnecessarily fast laps, burning up the tires. Well, there's no such thing as unnecessarily fast when you're behind the leader, so I'm gonna give everything here.
Harrington, what second are we in the race?
3 minute, or 59, 58, 57.
Okay, I'm several seconds behind. My stream froze for a second. Let me see if I can just skip ahead once. Nope, that's not gonna work. Mind waiting up a couple seconds?
Palmer up a second. What time are you at?
Okay, well, 43, 42, 41.
Okay, we're together.
Okay, excellent. Quackenberg is in the green car.
Yes,
I
that's
believe I made a note of this on our first race, but that is an homage to the Lamborghini Gallardo Valentino Baboni edition, and I really like that paint. I mean, it's a little generic, but it stands out just enough to be recognizable. The gold stripe alongside the large other stripe. I like it. Meanwhile, it looks like Samuel McIntyre has fallen to the back of the pack. I wonder what happened there. And also Faye. It looks like Faye might have lost connection.
Yeah, looks like we did lose Faye.
Might have been caused by the same issue that caused him to start.
Oh no! Foster is tumbling down, having lost the lead.
Not exactly the commentator's curse, I would say, but we, you know, I mean, we did kind of call it, right? You know, with the analysis of his past racing experiences. I mean, he's going to be able to make his way back through, I think, but...
I really hope to see a cool head here, you know. Still fast, still a lot of ways to go, just keep it together, don't make another mistake.
A little note, we're choosing some of the more interesting and technical tracks to throw at our Academy drivers in the more difficult Lamborghini SuperTrofeo race cars rather than the GT3s. Monza, Brands Hatch, Zandvoort so far, all very technical tracks relatively, some really unforgiving turns. The Lesmos at Monza and Ascari. Freaking... Oh, what's the name of the first turn at Brands Hatch, Matt? I forget. I know what it is.
Brands Hatch?
Yeah. What about it? Paddock Hill Bend.
That's the first corner.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I was asking. And then certainly in Zandvoort, there's no shortage of technical tight sections. So they're getting the full experience.
I have a lovely relationship with this track.
I have a love relationship with this track. I'm a huge fan of Zandvoort. I actually really like the changes they made in F1. They did a really good job at not butchering it too much. Obviously, they had to sandblast it a little bit, but definitely not too bad at all.
So Matt, you and I have both driven the Huracan GT3. Have you driven this SuperTrofeo at all?
Not in a long time.
Okay, because I was doing some testing in it as we were starting the season, and under braking and changing direction, it is wicked to handle. Especially if you're, hard braking going into a tight turn like a chicane. As soon as you let off and try and change direction, that thing just goes around on you.
Does it not have very many setup changes?
Well, I was driving default, and I know Justin has been working extensively with his crew to develop. He puts a lot of laps into it, finds what he thinks is the most safe and consistent setup, and then hands it off to them, run some laps with them as they can kind of tune it to their liking. So it's undoubtedly better than what I was running at default. But just in its pure setting, yeah, this car is pretty tricky to handle. You have to be trail braking is going to be your friend here, because you have to be very smooth as you're on the brakes.
I have to say, I am a fan of the Huracan GT3 Evo.
Oh yeah, it's the best thing out there.
Well, as as you may or may not know, Matt Higgs drove the GT3 Huracan in our last series or last season of the ACC GT3 Sunday Series. So he's very intimately familiar, and you've been able to set some pretty deadly laps with that thing.
Yeah, although I did have some highlights, specifically Kailami
Suzuka.
and me. Yeah, and Suzuka, who I was up there. I think at Kailami, the Lambos were all up there. Same with Suzuka. It was me, Sean,
This car was
and
pretty good,
Murray there.
Suzuka.
Looks like Zach Bennett is making a move on the inside of Andres Lasudis. Oh, a little bit of a bump sent him off the track. He wasn't able to, or he wasn't
Ooh,
able to
advance. Don't take
recover.
that.
Well, sadly, it's not up to him. Calmer heads will prevail, Matt Higgs.
Although he could. Oh no! I have no brakes.
Yeah, dang it. Oh, sorry, Zach. Oh, I'm. What? No, it wasn't revenge. No, no, no. Come on, man. I know you better than that. Or
You
know
could
me better
have
than
told.
that.
Who was in the last Wednesday series that
Bunch of people.
No, I mean who hit Wayne at the chicane?
Who was that? Who hit Wayne in the chicane?
I
at
don't
Zolder?
know. Well, I don't think it's worth any further investigation. I guess we'll just never know. It was me. I actually did it twice.
Although, I was gonna
Both
say, I'm not
of
sure
them-
which incident of hitting Wayne in the
Well,
chicane we're
well,
talking about.
It was
Well,
when he had the big leg spike.
I hit Wayne in the chicane, mainly in the plains. Both at Monza. I'm still
Well,
not-
Zolder.
That
I think
was
you're
that-
forgetting about
it was at
Zolder.
Zandvoort. It was at Zandvoort.
The first time was at Zolder.
No.
Absolutely Zolder.
No, both times it was at Monza.
No, the very first one. I guess 2 seasons ago.
I didn't hit Wayne at Zolder. I think I hit Mike Magus at Zolder.
Pretty sure Wayne was in that.
I would hit Mike too.
You hit Mike, but you clipped Wayne in the same incident.
Oh, Tommaso Bellino going wide onto the gravel. Didn't seem to slow him down much, though, as I hurriedly distract from the conversation that's happening previously. Very nice recovery.
Nice. Good job, Tommaso.
I'm kind of curious to see how Foster makes his way back up, because we've seen him be very potent.
Yeah,
in
and
past
nothing
races.
really happening so
But-
far.
But Zandvoort is a very tricky track overall to pass through. Not a whole lot of really good opportunities. Well, there are certainly some. It's not exactly a Monza or a Kyalami. Looks like Lasudis is still hot on the tail of Zach Bennett. Not losing any time, but not gaining any either, really.
Well,
Very,
I'm going to do my best effort of giving Stoffmeal an aneurysm here with these Dutch pronunciations, but they're currently going through Tarzan Bach.
Oh no! And as I say that, Lasudis goes wide into turn one, likely outbraking himself. Doesn't seem to lose that much time, but we see in the background Tommaso Piino doing the same.
I'm
So,
guessing balked means turn in Dutch?
no, that's the noise that a chicken makes.
Ah. A lot of chickens around here.
They're easy to mistake. So Cliff Hemian getting tracked down by David Nelson, who's made his way up to 4th place. Of course, he started in 5th, so only one.
Got our
position.
2 championship leaders here.
And you know, David Nelson is really kind of interesting how we've seen the two opposites of the racing sort of broad spectrum here. Dave Nelson is not a slow driver, but he's more methodical, very more on the cautious side, whereas people like Hemian are pretty quick, but sometimes has issues with staying on track, as we've seen with the likes of Foster. So
Disappointed to not be seeing John Petcha this week. He delighted us with some phenomenal saves at Brands Hatch.
oh, John Picha has really good saves at Brands Hatch?
Oh yeah, some phenomenal moves there.
Huh. Man, I wish I could have seen that. Oh no, Von Quakenberg ends up losing it. Kept out of the walls. Still not good enough to not spin. But, you know, I guess take your little victories where you can get them. If I remember hearing you correctly, Ayrton, you said that the SuperTrofeo Cup car is very very eager to over rotate upon liftoff throttle, so liftoff oversteer.
Very eager. Very. It's like you took the Herc on GT3, took off all aids, and gave it the balance of the 911.
Ugh. Obviously, we can't say that that's certainly true for all these individual setups, but it's hard to tune that out of a car, especially liftoff oversteer. So it looks like Huikenberg's car or position has stopped falling. He's settling down in 9th place as Larry Foster takes 8th. Uh-oh, Zach Bennett now losing it as Tommaso.
It's alright, that's alright.
David
Spins
Nelson.
happen, as long as you don't kill the car, you're all good.
Yeah, and so we see Thomas Bieno taking a pass without too much effort. Cliff Hemian is now in the firing sights of David Nelson. He seems to have been able to put about half a second, eat up a half a second between the next person in front of him in the last lap. Cliff Hemian driving for the blank team.
Mm-hmm. And
I like the
in
blank
both of the
team.
spins we've seen
I
so
love
far,
those guys.
I've seen some really nice rejoins from both of them, and frankly, hey, that's what the Academy is here for. You spin, but
Yeah.
it's all about seeing the things you do besides just driving.
Oh, Matt, you left the stream.
Oh,
Okay.
Henry,
Yeah.
you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Can indeed.
Although we're kind of seeing that Dave Nelson is proving to be a little more aggressive than we've seen in past weeks. He got really up there on Cliff, and he's right up on him.
Well, I don't want to strike up any commentator's curse here, but the spotlight
Let's just
is on
avoid talking
Garen.
about it.
The spotlight is on Garen right now.
It's actually on Cliff Hemian, but no, I'm just kidding. It is definitely Garen's race to lose, although we've seen that happen before in the past. Knocking on
It has
wood.
been very difficult for the leader to hang on to the lead so far.
Well, at Monza, how many different lead changes do we see?
Oh
About
yeah,
7,
Matt,
right?
at Monza we saw like 6 different leaders in like 8 laps. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Really?
Cliff Hemian subscribes to the belief of what can Brown do for you? Probably.
Well, okay, so Lakutis has made up to 5th. Not that he's 10 seconds back.
Is it pronounced
Foster?
like Kudus? I've always pronounced Lysutis.
I've never found out.
I remember asking, and I believe you said Lakutis.
Oh, oops.
But
in my face.
Foster is
yes.
up to 7th, closing in. I wish we could get a view of that fight. He'll be right on the tail of Bennett.
Hey, director, switch.
Yeah, hey, director, 2 days in the past, switch.
The director has a hard on for Cliff Hemian at the moment.
Who would-
I mean, when you go Brown, you can't back down, man.
It's true.
Oof.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna have to replace the toilet in my apartment.
Yes,
Don't
when
ask
I
me.
asked Lakutis how to pronounce his name, he spelled it out with a K, Lakutis.
Where is that race from? Is it Argentina?
Yep.
Haha. So he must have some German in there.
Why do you say that?
Well, after World War II, Argentina became a haven for Nazi worker bills.
I am
Okay.
sitting in shock
I-
as I look back at a message and realize after Andres Lakutis told me how to pronounce his name, I said, "Thank you, Andrew."
And we see Rachel Guerin lapping Juan Ramos for the first time. Juan very nicely lets him get out of the way. We do see a little bit of instability from Rachel on the exit of the final turn, or on the entrance of the final turn, excuse me. So we can kind of
Rachel
see
Guerin. I know
Running
you want to
away
go
with it.
fast, but she's stretching out her lead by like a second a lap here. And there's still 25 minutes to go. You gotta say, come on. Let's see some tire conservation here.
So Cliff Hemian's actually putting a little bit of space between him and David Nelson behind. Interesting to see how this battle works itself out, because I mean, don't mean to toot anyone's horn, but David's done well for himself in this series. As we said, he's currently the points leader, if I do remember correctly.
Perhaps David has pushed his tires too hard.
Yes, that generally does happen when you're very cautious.
No, I mean for this race, since he was catching up to Cliff, and now he's looks like he's a bit farther back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I suppose that's something they'll be working on as the season goes along. Kind of, you know, first couple of weeks were all about just building up speed in the car, then consistency, and at some point you're gonna have to start addressing, you know, strategy. Don't burn up your tires.
Definitely. Well, it's kind of cool because they're both all the drivers in this series. Well, I mean, really every series, but especially this one, all have the same goal. Their goal is to learn and hone their craft. Yeah, I know, right? Is to hone their craft. And the cool thing about this is that we kind of get tastes of all the different extremes of the spectrum. Obviously, you know, we do have some people that are extremely fast in isolated incidents with single laps, but sometimes that does mean that they are a little more bold, and sometimes have, you know, overreach the car sometimes. And on the converse side, what?
I'm gonna extend my offering to Justin again, because I messaged him a few weeks ago, saying that if he needs any help, I'd be happy to help him work on the series, because
yeah, he's
like
doing a
helping him.
phenomenal job so far, and I know he has started getting some hands from Simonitis, I believe, just stepped in. There was another name in there.
I sent him a message on Discord, but he didn't respond.
Well, he is very busy, so that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, he must be busy. And I guess kind of got lost in his messages.
I mean, did you like hit him in the last ACC series?
Once at Zandvoort.
Well, clearly you didn't hit him hard enough. He didn't even notice you.
Didn't you guys notice the big accident at Zandvoort last ACC series?
Which one?
I'll be honest, Matt, I can't remember any isolated incidents. There is a lot that happened that last season.
I remember mine and nothing else.
Yeah, who was the guy you came in contact with?
I don't remember, but I'm seeing Juan Ramos is doing a really nice job here of keeping up his pace as the guys are driving by.
He also hasn't, I don't think he's crashed or anything, so...
He hasn't stopped in the middle of the last chicane at Suzuka.
Oh, none at all.
I
Actually
mean,
seeing
his
some really nice
defense,
progress here.
He also didn't stop in the middle of the last chicane at Suzuka last time.
Here we go.
Although I could say maybe he's being a little too cautious. Well, I mean, obviously, you know, letting by a blue flag is not a bad thing, but you know, there is something to be said about, you know, trying to maintain your pace while.
Well,
at the
exactly,
same time.
and that's what we saw at the start, being very, very cautious, getting out of the way, and I've been wanting to see him keeping up his pace better. If anything, hold your line, let them go around you. You know, just be consistent, be predictable, and Juan is getting better and better at that. Being predictable.
Or at least coast off on a straight, that'd be a good idea rather than just brake.
Yeah, you know, I've talked about it with Justin and such, and I mean, maybe the outside the turn is the best. You don't want to be in the middle. Worst place would be the inside, but above all, be consistent, be predictable where you're gonna be. You know, if you start on the inside, don't go to the outside, and vice versa. Just where you are, stay there.
Or don't jump out of the way.
Yeah.
There's a reason why crashes tend to escalate and snowball, because that's when cars are at their most unpredictable.
Certainly, this is a nice, easy learning opportunity here for getting out of the way when it's so spread out with only 12 cars. It's not like having a field of 40 cars pass you. That's a bit more high pressure.
Yeah, like that's a
thank God for that.
I forget who the guy was, but at Suzuka, it was like 12, the top 12 were trying to pass a lap car within like a few minutes of the start of the race. And then Ayrton got taken out. I think it was just unfortunate. And then,
Anyhow, we're seeing sort of the return to form for David Nelson here. He's clawed his way back up to Cliff Hemian. back up to less than half, or almost to half a second.
What's the
So
gap
we could-
from Palmer to Guerin?
Almost 9 seconds.
Yep, she's still pulling out about a second per lap.
Just
So,
see some
and
battles, eh?
It looks like it. As you said, Matt, this director really likes the brown. I don't know what quite is up with that.
Cliff, are you
I mean,
sponsored by UPS by chance?
I think he's sponsored by Glue PS.
I have
Doesn't
to
have the
wonder
logos
if
on there.
Foster, possibly, actually, we never saw his accident. Maybe he hit the wall, took some damage, or maybe he's had a second spin because he caught up to Bennett and has now dropped even further back and definitely hasn't made any progress forward.
Oh, he's in the pits now, even. I think your analysis may have been correct. He looks to appear to have some damage, or maybe ran out of fuel or something. As does Tommaso Bellino, who's pulled into the pits likewise.
Yes, there have been frequent issues with drivers heading to the track a little light on fuel and having to pit prematurely.
I can give them an app that I use or a website that I use to calculate my fuel. It's pretty accurate.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily not calculating correctly. I think it's forgetting to change the fuel.
100%, yeah.
Yes and yes, probably.
I know I had problems with that frequently in race room and the like, and I've always bemoaned, like, why doesn't it start with max fuel, you know? Better to have too much than not enough, but...
Last week at, it was really unfortunate, Matt, at Brands Hatch, Lycudis actually started on the pole there, put down a great lap. Unfortunately, he lost connection at the end of qualifying. He was able to rejoin right before it switched sessions, but at the race it started him in the back of the field because he had to rejoin. He then worked his way up, I think to 5th or so, completely blitzed through the field, but in his haste to rejoin and get on track, he'd forgotten to change his fuel, so then he had to go and pit and ruin his race.
So Larry
Andreas, I feel for you.
So Larry Foster, after coming out of the pits, is now being lapped by David Nelson. I'm still confused by the weird 3D name tags. That doesn't make sense to me. In the
Just don't look at them.
I must know, Matt. I gotta know.
They're gonna know.
Well, let's see what Larry Foster can do here. I mean, obviously he's a lap down, but I know he has a lot of pride in the speed he carries, which is tremendous. Great speed
Well,
there. So he's out.
He is on an outlap.
I was gonna say he's a lap down, but I'm sure he would love to drive right by these two and say, "Hey, I'm a lap down, but don't forget who is at speed here."
Yeah.
Is Cliff catching, is that Ramos?
Palmer.
Oh.
Is that Palmer? No, he's 6.5 seconds back. That can't be Palmer.
Well, oh, you mean immediately
Gallo.
there? Oh, it's probably Gallo.
It's a Gallo or Gallo?
I'm gonna assume Gallo. I don't remember
On
his
the-
first name, but it would lead me to believe when I saw it that it's Gallo.
On the registration form, it says his name is Raga. So
Braga Gallo.
that's helpful.
Meanwhile, as expected, Larry Foster's coming through. Just gotta keep it clean, not take these guys out. That would be problematic.
I would not be very
another-
happy if I was a guy in the lead lap getting taken out by a backmarker who's faster than me.
Well, I think it's important, and I don't know if this is necessarily the case, but to me it looked like that David Nelson kind of pulled off and kind of recognized, like, hey, dude, you're pretty fast. I don't want to get mixed up in contact with you, so you can have it. And see, right now you can see that Hemian is getting mixed up.
I was gonna say,
with the
although
Foster, so.
depending on what HUD he's running, Nelson may even think that Foster's just coming through on the lead lap. Might not.
Could be.
Although this could
it's not-
certainly, yeah, I'd say this is kind of a stretch. I don't. It's hard to really plan for this in the middle of the race, but it could be advantageous to just let Foster go through cleanly and then let him kind of dust up Hemian up there, slow him down a bit,
It could be.
and then try and essentially follow Foster through, passing Hemian.
Yeah.
Let him be the ambulance.
Well, Well, one thing I'm kind of noticing is
Wait,
that
Larry's also got some front damage there. Look at the gap between the hood and the bumper.
Yeah.
I was thinking that we saw that in last race. Or the race
That's
before,
definitely
you know.
the damage he took initially. Perhaps it just isn't visually showing the fix there. I'm assuming if
Because
he
he-
went
yeah.
into the pits, surely that's what he fixed.
This is the second lap out, so he must have something. Oh, David Nelson getting right on the back of Hemian.
Well, that's what we were
Going
talking
on
about.
the-
Hemian had a kind of
on
weird
the
line.
inside. Oh, maybe a little overcautious, but Hemian did dive to close that door.
Mm-hmm.
And he did make it stick. Very solid defending from Hemian right there.
Well, that turn one at Zandvoort is pretty easy to defend if you just cut it hard enough, because there's really nothing for the other driver to do on
Yeah.
turn exit. aside from
Despite a
duck in.
little bit of banking, and I bet the new configuration's a lot racier
Oh, yeah.
around there. Here,
It lets
you're not
off
going around the
the
outside.
corner.
Exactly.
The new pit exit goes around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
That's, yeah, probably a better spot for it.
Well, looks like
You
Hemian
know,
is
I wouldn't
getting.
be surprised if they didn't touch the track for Zandvoort if they didn't update it. Although they might. And the update that comes later this month.
Well, 12:49 to go, and outside of Foster's incident, it's been very clean this time.
Yeah, we had. Looks like Tommaso Bean is having further issues. He's down again to 11th. But other than that,
Unfortunately,
yeah,
our
it's
director
been
isn't
pretty
showing us any of this.
He's got a hard on for the Brown. Hey, Garen's here. Why?
There
I'm
we
not
go.
entirely sure. She's our
Is
leader.
Garrett
but
actually South African?
I'm gonna
I
assume
don't
so.
know. I think so.
Cool.
Meanwhile, Cliff Hemming is from France. Hey, I've made that joke once before, but you didn't hear it, so. And now, Dave Nelson. Seems that Sector 3 is very
Yeah?
strong for David. He finds himself back up on Cliff's bumper every entrance.
Maybe he did a nice job of letting his tires cool down a little bit for a few laps there.
Although it remains to be said that he's still got. This is still a pretty good position to be in, all things considered. Fourth place, not bad at all. While obviously a podium or first would be better. You know, no need to overreach. If you can find the opportunity, take it. But you know, that's up to him to find.
Yes, sir. Alright, let's see here.
Oh, David Nelson getting a little bit
David
of oversteer.
Nelson.
He
Oh,
recovered it.
I don't
very
know.
well.
It was hard to tell, but I thought I saw that hood smashed in there. Did he hit the wall?
I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
It's hard to tell with his
Ooh.
delivery. Maybe we'll get a shot here.
So he's only
yes, sir.
he only lost a couple of seconds. Though we do have a yellow flag coming up at the most technical section of the
Something up
track.
ahead.
There's a car off. Ooh, that's David Palmer.
Palmer?
So that is for position. Wait, Garen's in second now?
Garen went off. I'm not sure what's up with that scoring.
Let's see when they go across the line here. See if anything happens.
Yeah.
Any updates.
Unless Garen had gone off there. Nope, there we go.
Okay, there we go. I don't know what's up with that. But Palmer has definitely lost some positions, or lost some space at least.
Yeah, for a second you're
And
thinking,
Hemian is
bad
now-
rejoins, but no, that was for position.
Hemian is now primed to put the hurt on David Palmer, who makes a pretty interesting line into turn one. Not entirely sure what's up with that. My tires might be dirty still.
Went from desperately defending third to suddenly pouncing on second in a third of the lap. Fortuitous for Paul Hemian there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Palmer still seems to be struggling with the car. He might have a little bit of damage, but I'm more likely thinking he just psyched himself out a little bit.
Yeah, and they're coming up some traffic in a really bad spot to be catching traffic. If you get stuck behind someone slower than you going through this turn, oh, okay.
Juan Ramos.
Like as I've talked about, not one get out of the way. That is probably the one spot you should get out of the way as a slower car.
Yeah. To a
There's-
faster car, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean,
But Ramos
right
did a
on
really nice
Palmer.
job there.
So this is battle for second place with 9.5 minutes to go. Yellow flag in Sector 1 of Zandvoort. Not entirely sure what is up with that. Looks like, oh, no, it's at the turn before. That looks to have been.
That might still be Ramos. That's where he pulled over. Perhaps he came to a
Oh.
stop there.
Oh yeah, it looks like it. That's not a very encouraging.
That's kind of the problem with pulling over, because, you know, like we said, keep up your speed, keep rolling, but once you pull over, well, suddenly you're going to have a real tough time rejoining with cars flying by at full speed.
Yeah, you were saying that was probably the best place to pull over. I didn't want to disagree with you.
Well, I didn't mean pull over, I just meant if you're going to get out of the way. Like,
Especially if guys come there full
I don't
speed.
know. That still seems like, ooh, Cliff Hemian off the track, dipping 2 wheels.
Especially if guys go off and you don't know, you just see a yellow flag, you don't know how bad it is, if there's anybody there, or if they're across the track. Could be anything from a guy in the wall to a guy letting you by. You don't know.
I don't know. I'm kind of the opinion that it's better if you must hold someone up, better to do that while you find a good place to let them by, rather than just, especially if you have to stop. I mean, maybe you didn't intend on doing that, but regardless, that's what happened. So that'll be just something.
That's what we're all here to do. We're all here to learn.
Yeah, exactly.
anyways, look at this tasty three-way fight for second now.
I'm all for a good three-way. Damn it! You win this time, Higgs.
Yes, sir. It's like Batman, Joker.
Foster. Oh, never mind. He pitted. That's right.
Yep, Foster pitted.
The Batman when the Joker.
Okay, and also Nelson does not have damage. You're correct. So.
And it seems that we've lost Juan Ramos. He's not appearing on the list anymore. I wonder if he did end up crashing and had some damage,
I
or
feel
maybe
bad
lost
for
internet
Ramos.
connection.
I mean, he just gets demoralized.
I can't imagine he crashed, because we did see him slow down the side. It would be rather difficult to crash from that position.
Did he
qualify? Yeah, he was here.
We were just watching him. Matt.
Yeah, he was
No,
here. He qualified last, but he was there.
I forgot. I couldn't realize. I didn't even think about if he qualified, because if he just joined and then he started from the back and then crashed, that'd be pretty demoralizing.
Well, Faye actually started from the back, but
And Ramos was actually running 11th out of 12th before that, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I'm wondering what happened.
Well, let's see here. Palmer has been speedy but inconsistent the first 2 races. Hemian has been a little pretty consistent. And then you have the juggernaut of consistency behind them, looking to snap at the position.
You can almost see Dave and Nelson just being cool and just waiting for them to make a mistake. He's only got 6.5 minutes left, but we've seen Palmer even now seem to struggle to maintain his composure. And with Cliff and Nelson both behind him, it's easy to see why. But he really just has to hold on. And David Nelson is the master of holding on. He's got the grip of an alligator.
These guys, good.
What's that?
I think Matt's talking to his cat.
Oh, okay. Oh no! As I said, David Palmer off on the inside of turn 7, I believe that is. In any case, he knows
that is the Vodafone buck.
Vodafone buck. Okay.
Alright.
And now we've seen Cliff Hemian having to put on the brakes a little bit, giving David Nelson a little bit of a run, not exactly into an ideal passing zone, but it does give him a little bit of room for pause as he gets under half a second between him and Hemian.
But despite his struggle, Palmer's been the quickest of these 3, so hey, door's still open for him to catch back up.
Well, this is the second.
I admit that.
And there's the car off.
Going through turn 11.
Oh, it's Paul Quickenberg.
Oh, no,
Oh,
Palmer.
he's covering the side. David Palmer might have been. Oh, that was a terrible time to cut away. Was he able to get by? Did he clip him? It looks like he didn't, judging by the minimap.
Yeah.
Oh, that was close.
Say the way this car, spins on liftoff, this is not an ideal car to be taking that position. But yes, he is back there. Clearly lost a good amount of time, but it survived.
I mean, it could have been a lot worse. David Nelson eating up Hemian on the first sector of the track.
Cliff Hemian might held up there.
Looks like it.
Well, this is what we've seen out of Nelson each week. Not only has he been consistent, but in doing so, he really seems to come to life at the end of each race.
It also looks like he's applying his position a little bit better than in past races. He's keeping the pressure on Cliff Hemian, which I mean, Cliff has been a good racer as well, but I'm not. What do you think, Ayrton? Has he been? I always see a little bit of booty shaking.
Honestly, we haven't even seen Cliff at all the last 2 races. The cameras. Oh no, Palmer lost in the same turn.
Palmer lost it again. So that's gonna be it for Palmer.
I'll get back to Palmer, but as I was saying, we haven't really seen Cliff Hemian at all. Mainly because he's been quiet and consistent around 3rd, 4th, 5th place each week. Just hasn't really made a mistake or charged forward, so we haven't seen him. He just keeps winding up in 2nd and 3rd place at the end of each race.
Well, I guess that's better than being the obstacle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But back to Palmer spinning there the 2nd lap in a row. I don't know about you guys, but
looks like Nelson also lost it.
The same place where he lost it. Well, that's the point I was making. I don't know about you guys, but I've been there, and I don't know if it psychs you out, but if you make a mistake in one turn, it's so easy to come back to that exact same turn, maybe then trying to be careful, but you're over careful and just losing it in the same place. It happens.
Yeah, it's easy to psych yourself out.
Sure.
Because, you know, a lot of people, when they, I can't speak for everyone, but a lot of people, when they have a bad experience somewhere, they try to be...
Of course, Lesmo won at Monza.
What's that?
Lesmo won at Monza.
Oh, yeah, exactly, right?
What happened there?
Well, I in multiple races have thrown away a race, late in a race, at that turn, and then the next lap come through, and just thrown it away further at the same turn, every time.
I thought you had struggled more with Lesmo 2, but...
No, I'm actually pretty
I
solid through Lesmo 2. It's Lesmo 1, that's lighter, it's the sharper one.
I like that lime green.
I remember you had particular trouble at the most recent 3D speed race there.
Something happened to Tommaso. He's down in 11th.
Yeah, well, we remember he spun multiple times.
Yeah, he's been there. But he is actually catching Gaio for position.
Oh, that was close. Sorry, didn't mean to vocalize so much there.
But yeah, this is about to become a fight for position.
So go! As you say that, Spino noses into the wall. We saw him rotate there on corner entry, but was a little bit slow to catch it. So
it's easy to do there. It's a very tricky corner.
Yeah, sector 1 of Zandvoort is where we are. Is very tricky, especially with cars that are prone to rotating like these ones. Not too far behind Gaio still, but that damage is not going to help his prospects, especially with 1 lap after this one.
Good. Well done to these guys. Bad luck to Tommaso.
Oh, Gaio also goes wide on the next turn. Ramiro is his name. So you're not muted.
Okay.
As quickly as the match appears, it disappears and then reappears again. So we are watching the battle for 10th place with Tommaso Bino and Ramiro Gaio, who goes off and cuts the chicane, or not chicane, the hairpin.
And suddenly this fight for position is back on.
And it's back. Tommaso Bino is damaged, but Gaio has the dirty tires. And we can see that the damage is less of a problem than the dirty tires, at least initially.
Well, the fight to not be last is a fierce fight.
Oh, it certainly is. I know that one all too well. Oh, and Bino makes an undercut on Gaio in through turn 1. This is a slower section of the track, so the aero damage might not come into effective. Gaio cuts across. Bino ends up spinning into the wall. Oh, that might have been a little bit of over-rotation, failed to control over-rotation, as we saw earlier.
Yeah, that's never what you want to
Tommaso would tap them.
I
didn't see that. I didn't see that, but it's certainly possible. As the flag worker drapes his flag across Gaio's car. So on board with Cliff Hemian, whose race seems to just be about over. All he has to do is kind of coast to the finish. Not really worried about it, unless Gaio gets in the way, who's in the next corner. Oh, that car does not look happy. Oh, cutting across again! Oh, looks like Gaio got pitted a little bit by Hemian. Oh, and insult to injury. Guy returns to the pits, undoubtedly frustrated with this unfortunate last lap. What a shame. Tommaso Bionino thus moves up to 10th place in a pretty secure position as well. Of note, David Nelson is rapidly catching Cliff Hemian down to less than a second and a half. Unfortunately, this is the last lap of the race, so it's unlikely that he'll be able to make it good on that. But he does have a pace advantage currently, and it appears to be going out even now.
Holding off, complimenting them so I don't curse them there.
So you don't curse them?
Yeah, I don't want to give them a curse. The last lap.
Sadly, I don't think there's too much cursing to be done. It looks like everything is kind of... Ooh, Larry Foster getting a little bit uneasy, reaching turn 1 for the last time. And with that, Rachel Guerin is the
Rachel
victor.
Guerin, there we go. Finally gets that dominant victory she's been looking for. Very well done.
Yes, for
What's
our
the
race
gap?
3.
Let's see what the gap is. I'm curious.
Last I saw, it was
13 seconds.
Yeah,
30 seconds?
13 seconds.
That's not too bad.
Been a little under a second per lap advantage there.
Maybe she was just going really fast and she decided, I don't need to go this fast. I can just kind of.
I would hope so.
Cool down my pace
It's
a
a
bit.
solid strategy. I mean, it could
Take my tires.
It could be that she just got lucky and was able to apply full throttle the whole time, but I think it's a more likely.
There we see Larry
I prefer
Foster.
the theory that she.
And Matt cut out perfectly timed.
Wait, no, you can hear me, right?
I hear you now.
You said I think that she
I think I like the theory that she was cutting corners.
That's a pretty good one.
She used her witchcraft.
Larry Foster putting down some good pace, and ended up making his way back up to 7th. A very solid result.
And he actually did have the fastest lap of the day, with a 141.043, which is half a second faster than Guerin's best lap of 41.5, which itself was about a second clear of anyone else.
So maybe Foster needs to focus his efforts most on redeeming that or revoking that glass cannon status he currently has. Fast laps, not as much consistency. But of course, that's the battle for everyone to learn.
That's why we're here.
Exactly. So, and with that, our race concludes round 3 of the ESR Academy Series in Assetto Corsa. Who wants to do the final rundown?
Well, let's take a look here. Full positions, we have Rachel Guerin, Cliff Hemian, David Nelson, Dave Palmer, Andres Lykoudis in 5th. Then we have, I believe that's Zach Bennett, Larry Foster, Samuel McIntyre, Jin von Quackenberg, Tommaso Bionino, Ragayo, and Juan Ramos finishing out in 12th. Well, those are the final results anyways, not what we're seeing here with Ramos in 12th.
Really a shame what happened to some of the drivers. Ramiro, Gallo, it was poorly timed on that last lap, but you know, sometimes it's just how it works out, I guess.
You possibly got disorientated from a spin.
Yeah, it's really easy to do that, especially in these cars where they're already prone to over-rotating in a very technical track, Zandvoort.
Well, having watched this race, if I'm looking at some stats here of not the best lap, but the least deviation, whose lap times were the most consistent? Which driver do you think had the most consistent lap time throughout the race?
I mean, I vote for Dave Nelson, but I feel
wow,
like
Cole, you were right. It is Dave
Hey!
Nelson with the most consistent, smallest deviation. Not sure it actually happened to Rachel Guerin. She's 4th here on deviation, so maybe that's probably because she had such a big lead, started to slow down a bit at the end. Didn't really have to carry it through to the end like Nelson. That probably ruined it a bit there. Otherwise, it very well may have been her. But as the stats show, Dave Nelson and Cliff Hemian had the most consistent lap time around here today.
So,
tech indeed.
reviewing the chat post race of the drivers, looks like Samuel McIntyre, his brake pedals appear to have failed on him, so that is why he had to relinquish the race, more or less. Well, I mean, he still did really well, 8th place, but
unfortunate been there with the brake pedal failure.
Exactly. Sounds like between a conversation between him and Larry Foster that something broke. Meanwhile, Andres Laikoudis is delighted that his internet allowed him to finish the race this time. So always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure indeed.
I will point out that on the idea of consistency, Foster and Biano both had 2 laps invalidated. That said, I'm seeing everyone else is showing 0 invalid laps.
Awesome.
What track limits to show that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's true, because I feel like we saw some people hitting some walls and stuff, but at least according to these post race details, it's showing no invalid laps from anyone else, which would be pretty
Pretty
nice feat.
stellar.
Yeah.
So with that, let's go over the current standings in the championship. Obviously, theirs is prone to changing, but it's always fun to go over. David Nelson, first place with 140 points. Cliff Hemian
lost
130.
5 points there.
What's that?
He lost 5 points out of his lead, went down from a 15-point to a 10-point lead.
Rachel Guerin picking up third place with 102. Dave Palmer, fourth, 92 points. Zach Bennett in fifth, 87. Samuel McIntyre, sixth with 57. Larry Foster in seventh with 49, but he's starting to gain some momentum here. This is his best result so far. Ryan Gonzalez in eighth with 47. Kimo Sith in ninth with 45, having only finished one race. Andres Laikoudis in 10th with 42. So
then down
quite a variety we
really
have here.
Start to get down to people who haven't been here throughout all 3 weeks.
Yes, exactly. So hopefully we get to see more consistency in these drivers. That is, always something that's worthwhile.
And definitely
Plenty
a
of
big week for
fighting at the
Guerin.
top, though.
Yeah, we're gonna. I mean, she's sitting 38 points back from David Nelson since he's had a first, a first, and a third. That said, Guerin finally got things on track, got that win, and we'll see if a second one follows and if she can really start closing that points gap.
I'm really excited to see what the championship starts to evolve for once the drivers start to kind of learn their weaknesses and strengths and to compensate accordingly. We could see. I wonder if David Nelson can hone his lap times. We've seen him be very potent, like at Zandvoort right now. He did good battle with Cliff Hemian, having a couple of almost passes. Well, Rachel Guerin is likewise starting to, or not starting to, but honing her consistency. So
Do you guys remember who dominated the Academy and Race Room series?
I can't say I do. I didn't really
last
follow that
one,
series
it was
too much.
Simonitis, a man who quickly outgrew his academy status, and it was Demetrius Simonitis, who is now helping coaching. He dipped his toe in the academy pool and pretty quickly realized his foot was too big for it.
Yeah, found it to be inches deep compared to
Do you guys think I'd be good in the Academy series?
I think it'd be too good.
Maybe.
I mean, Matt, let's be honest. You've challenged, or not challenged, but you kept up with Stoffmeal on occasions, talking about season 2 of the ACC series at Barcelona, Suzuka, Kyalami, places like that. So I think
qualified stuff at Kyalami.
So I think that answers itself, right?
Yeah, you mean Stoffmeal in a very, very imbalanced car.
But
that's my win.
Hey, you take it. Technically you won. So, but no. In response, I think you'd be better as a coach. A, you know these Lamborghinis very well, and B, you're a pretty solid driver. So, I wouldn't.
I'd love to help out.
You'd be a better fit. Yeah, keep on Justin to get a coaching status.
Shut up, Dad. I do help.
That's Big Higgs talking to Matt here. Indeed. Talking shit probably.
Yeah, most likely.
Well, anyways, folks, next week we are at the Thunderdome of racing as it is. It's not Bristol, it's Zolder. Yeah, we're going to Zolder. This is going to be fun. Hopefully we get a nice, strong showing here, and I'll be back here. I'm hoping Cole's back here. We might get Justin back in here. Maybe we've got Matt on our side now. Maybe he can join us next time.
We should get a solid 7 commentators.
I'm telling you, anyone out there, the more the merrier. Let's have basically everyone.
Let's have a watch party.
Exactly.
Like 30 commentators.
That's what I want to see.
Jaden?
Oh God, Jaden. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get some Byron, some Mike, some Paul. Let's get everyone in here.
Let's get drunk Rachel.
everyone in here.
On the final race, we should enforce a 3-drink minimum.
Yeah, something like that.
3-shot minimum?
Whatever,
oh boy.
man.
Well, I'm gonna cut this off, fine folks, before they have to listen to these to start rambling.
Before we have too many good ideas, you mean?
Yes. So we will see you back here. That is next week. That is Sunday. It's going to be starting right about 1 p.m. Pacific time. I believe that's 4 p.m. out on the East Coast of North America.
Mhm.
Hope to see you back
Yes,
here,
sir.
folks. You can find us live at ESR. And we will see you then.
Peace.
ESR-race.org.
That's the one.